Okay, YouTubers, here is our first layout. I've got everything laid out. I'm getting ready to mark where my posts are going to go. I have finished cutting all of my my wood. I still have to bring the posts around from the garage, and my lovely assistant has cleaned the garage afterwards, so we got up all the sawdust and cut-ins and all this stuff. So that's where we're at. It's about noon today. I think today is day 4. So hopefully by the end of the day, we'll have the posts in, the posts laid out. We've got to put drills, the post goes between there, if you remember. We got the cheek cuts. So we'll lay those out flat, put them together, and then what we'll do once we have the brackets in the concrete is we'll just bring those up and attach them straight into the brackets, and then we'll do the same back here. Then we'll put these 2 end posts on to hold it, and then depending on the day and how we feel, we'll be ready to do the rest of those and get them in there. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so I've measured probably about 100 times. This mark is my 24-inch mark from the end, and I want to make sure that from the inside there to the inside of the outside, I guess, to here is exactly 12 foot, because I want to make sure my posts are right. And then basically from here, from the outside of there, and I know the sun's kind of getting us, to the outside of here is exactly 12, and then again from the outside there to over here right down here is exactly 12 foot. So I've made all my measurements. I've marked on the concrete with my pencil. So now I'm going to go and probably rent a hammer drill and a 1/2 inch. I got these red anchors, and I'll show them here in a bit. But they're also, the ones they sent me were 5.5 inch, so I don't know if I can get more like 4. This concrete slab is about 4 inches deep from when I was doing the footing over here. I dug down along the edge there to make sure that how deep it was. So it, at 4 inches deep, basically from what I read on the internet, it would hold 2 normal sized cars, somewhere around 6,000 pounds. So Pergola on here is not a big deal. This footing is 24 inches deep, and then there's about 3 or 4 inches of pea gravel rock underneath that for drainage. And I used high strength cement there. I think it was an extra $1 a bag for an 80-pound bag. So that's 5,000 psi just for that one footing. So you distribute this weight evenly across these 4 points, and this is nothing that you're putting on a slab. So anyway, I'm going to check and see if, rather than the 5.5 inch long ones they sent me, if they have 4 inch cement anchors. So I'll do a trip over to Lowe's and then run by the rental place and rent a hammer drill and whatever diameter bit I need. But we're pretty much ready to move this wood off, and then we'll put the anchors in there, and then we'll be ready to start assembling the posts and what we're calling the beams here, the ones that don't have the hole cutouts. And then once we have the beams in there, we'll be able to raise it up, anchor it, obviously, plumb it so that we're plumb left to right and front to back, and then we can put our first rafters on each side to hold it. Once those are in, then the other rafters that you see out there in the yard will come, and we'll start spacing those I need to do my math on that again, but I think I calculated it for it's either 12 or 24 inches, probably 24 inches. I've got a total of 6, so I've got 4 out there, and they're at 12 foot right now. Those are. So, yeah, we'll get the evenly, we'll put marks on the beams here of where those rafters will go, so that when we have the rafters up on the posts, and we're bringing those rafters up above on a ladder, we just need to line them up to the mark and screw them down, and we'll know that the spacing and everything is right. So stay tuned, more going on. Okay guys, back from my trip to Lowe's. Here's the concrete anchors that I got, wedge head, 1/2 inch and 3 3/4 inch, since these are this is a 4-inch slab that I'm on. I got some galvanized 1/2 inch by 8 inch long, some galvanized washers, screws, a 1/2 inch bore, so that I can bore through the wood for that, and of course the 1/2 inch masonry bit. I'm going to try to use my own DeWalt, since I only have to go down like 3 1/4 inches. It'll save me a little bit from going to the rental store and dealing with all of that. So that's what comes next. Okay guys, just finished with the huge massive drill, which I did end up going in and renting, just because it was never ever gonna get done with my puny little drill. So I've just hammered that in there, and then you basically take your socket wrench here and do this, and should tighten up for us. Probably get the extension out, but I'll get the extension on here and we'll tighten that down even tighter. As soon as I find it. There we go. But I've already done this one. You can see that's not going anywhere. So next thing is going to be to mark the top of the beams at the center where the rafters are going to go, 6. So basically I'm doing 24 inches between them, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then we'll get the posts out here, drill the holes for those, which I've got the right here, for drilling that and putting these in, and then we'll basically raise that up and put them in there. So that's what we're doing next. Okay guys, so the posts are all in. They're leveled and plumbed. Looks really good. The anchors are all holding like, I knew they would. Here are the beams. So I just kind of set them down here in front and then marked across. I've already marked at 24. Basically it's every 2 feet. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So a total of 6 rafters. That's what these are that are going to go on there. So now we'll know where those marks are when we get those up there. So we're talking about getting a couple ladders, get a couple of 10, 14 foot ladders, which should put us up there just fine. Tomorrow, I'll step back here. Oh, the boys finished putting the gravel around there, around the fire pit, so that looks really nice. And you can kind of, sorry, we're in the mid-afternoon sun, but you can kind of see how the height that we're going to have on this the scale over here in the corner, so that helps with the sun behind us. No, not really. But so stay tuned for tomorrow. We should have the beams and the rafters all up and finished tomorrow, and the lattice work on it. So a long full day tomorrow, but it's going to be a good one. And then only if we would stain it, I guess, would we need any more time on it, I think. So stay tuned.